Hello everybody, this is Bill Salus. It's June 16th, day 4 of the war between Israel and Iran. I wanted to give you a brief update today. I've been getting a lot of emails asking me the question is, could we be seeing the fulfillment in this war of a prophecy, namely the prophecy in Jeremiah chapter 49, verses 34 through 39, the ancient prophecy of Elam. Now on June 15th we posted a video I did on this prophecy, addressing the details of it, very comprehensive video entitled The Prophecy of Elam, Is It Happening Now? And you can get that at our YouTube channel by searching Bill Salus or Prophecy Depot. While you're there, certainly consider subscribing to our channel and hitting the notification bell as well. For those not familiar with the prophecy, I want to look at 6 of the details and tell you how some of these might be seeming to start to find fulfillment as we go through this brief update. First, we're told that a time is going to come in this prophecy. The Lord is going to become fiercely angry with the leaders of Iran. He's going to be so angry, he's going to bring about a biblical disaster. Why is he angry? Because they've got bad leadership. We know this because it tells us in a detail. He's going to destroy from there the king and the princes, and of course he would not destroy good leadership. And then he says the disaster is going to be caused because he's going to break the bow of Elam. They want to launch something lethal somewhere. And he's very concerned about that at the foremost of their might, probably referencing their missile launching capabilities and their nuclear program, foremost of their might. The disaster is going to be so epic that it's going to bring about a humanitarian crisis, it appears. Seems to be nuclear in nature. Because he says he's going to bring the 4 winds from the 4 quarters of heaven and scatter that indigenous population, the Iranians, toward all those winds, worldwide dispersion. That says there'll be no nation where the outcasts of Elam don't go. And when this disaster happens, it says it will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies, before those who seek their life. And of course, Iran has enemies right now. Israel's at the top of the list. USA is right there, close second, as well as other concerned nations. So why could the Lord be fiercely angry with the current leadership in Iran who wants to wipe Israel off of the map? Well, quite simply, that would interfere with some major plans he's got in the marquee event of Ezekiel 38 and 39, where he supernaturally defeats the invaders of that prophecy. And we're told in Ezekiel 39:7 that he's going to make his holy name known in the midst of his people Israel, so they have to exist. And I will not let them profane my holy name anymore. And the nation shall know the Lord, the Holy One, in Israel. In other words, there has to be an Israel and there has to be an Israeli people for the Lord to accomplish the will of his heart here. So he's not going to allow the Iranian regime to wipe Israel off of the map. Now it says it's going to go on and destroy the king and the princes. And we know that presently in this war, Israel has killed several high-ranking Iranian commanders in the military, and some senior nuclear scientists. But also now, what if they actually assassinate Khomeini? There's an article that came out today from the Times of India, and here's what it says. Israel-Iran war. Netanyahu says eliminating Khomeini would end the crisis. We are fighting your enemy, meaning not just for their own existence they're fighting for, but also for the Western world. It goes on to say, after a day it was reported that U.S. President Donald Trump blocked an Israeli plan to kill Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel is not ruling out eliminating Khamenei, as that would only end the forever war that Iran wants. That would only end the forever war that Iran wants. So, I'm not saying that this is what's... If they assassinate Khamenei, that would be like taking out the king, I would suggest to you. I'm not saying that's exactly a fulfillment, if that happens. It could be talking about local political leaders in the Elam territory on the western side of the Gulf there, southwestern side of by the Persian Gulf. But it's interesting to note that they are considering assassinating the king, and they have been eliminating key leadership inside of Israel. Is this leading toward the fulfillment of the part of the prophecy, one of the details? I'm not sure. We'll have to sit tight and wait and see. So by way of review, 1, we can understand that the Lord is fiercely angry presently with the leaders of Iran. They want to wipe Israel off the map, and that just cannot happen. 2, we may see that the king and the princes are going to be eliminated. And then 3, he's going to break the bow of Elam at the foremost of their might. And we found out in an article today from JNS that over a third of Iran's missile launchers have been destroyed. The Israeli Air Force continues to target the Islamic Republic's ballistic missile stockpiles and arms production sites. So could we see the start of the breaking of the bow, the missile launching capabilities, which primarily are located in that area of Elam? We'll show you a map in a moment. They've been attacking in the Kermanshah area. As far as the missile launching capabilities, that is in Elam. You'll see that in the map there. They've been hitting that pretty heavy. I'm going to show you a video here shortly, and the next slide, of what we're talking about here.
Last night, Israel destroyed 20 Iranian missile launchers as they prepared to fire, no doubt saving countless Israeli lives. Now, that's the benefit of air superiority and something that's going to be a real problem for Iran as this war drags on. Now, diving into what we know about last night's strikes, as well as a bit of a roll-up as to what the two sides have so far accomplished in this war. Starting with an IDF statement here, they say as a part of the strikes last night, approximately 50 fighter jets and aircraft identified and struck missile storage sites, surface-to-surface missile launchers that were ready to launch towards the state of Israel, and command centers where launch squads were preparing to carry out launches towards Israel. In these strikes, more than 20 missiles were simultaneously struck minutes before they were to be launched towards Israel's home front. Since the beginning of the operation, more than 120 missile launchers, constituting one-third of the Iranian regime's total launchers, have been destroyed.
So not only has Israel been attacking missile silos in Kermanshah, in the northern part of the Elam territory, they've also hit the Natans nuclear reactor, as you see from this image here. So Natans is also in the Elam territory, and they have several nuclear facilities and enrichment facilities and missile facilities in this area. You've got Shiraz, Isfahan, and Natans. Could we now be looking at breaking the bow of Elam at the foremost of their might, the nuclear attacks? Isfahan is Iran's largest nuclear research facility. Natans is Iran's primary enrichment facility. Bushehr is one of Iran's nuclear reactors. Shiraz is Iran's special weapons and missile development facility. Now, they've attacked Natans. They've hit gas fields in Bushehr. They've attacked Isfahan. Are we seeing that part 4 now? Are we seeing that perhaps they're taking out the foremost of their might, which would be another important detail that help us understand that this prophecy is going on right now. So, but we need to remember as we review this, the Lord's fiercely angry. He'll bring about a disaster. That disaster has not necessarily happened on an epic level just yet. He's going to destroy from there the king, maybe Khomeini, and the princes, who are those local political leaders, or this what we're already seeing going on with the commanders and the scientists. I don't know about that for sure just yet. He's going to break the bow of Elam. We're seeing missile launching capabilities already being hit. At the foremost of their might, we're seeing nuclear reactors and facilities being hit. Remember that the disaster has to be of the magnitude that necessitates a worldwide dispersion, and that will tell us something. When we see that happening, we see a disaster that's epic, maybe nuclear, and a worldwide dispersion taking place, then we're going to know we're seeing the fulfillment of this prophecy. But right now we're seeing some stages being set that perhaps could lead to the fulfillment of this prophecy. So thank you for sticking with me on this brief update. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that this prophecy is finding fulfillment, but it is interesting that coincidentally some of the details seem to be finding potential fulfillment. So we've got to stay tuned closely and fasten to this war and see if we're actually going to see the fulfillment of Jeremiah chapter 49, verses 34 through 39. If we see an epic disaster from nuclear radioactive fallout causing a worldwide dispersion, then I would highly suggest that we are probably seeing the fulfillment of a prophecy written in 596 BC.